What's going on, everybody? Your co-host, Andrew Kubitz here on the microphone, episode 6 of the Casual Millennials Podcast. Joined always by my co-host, Eric. Eric, how are you?
Doing great. Hump day.
Yeah, hump day again. I'll let you introduce our esteemed guest.
So with us we have Nate Ziegler, who is owner of CoMotion Fitness.
Nice to meet you guys.
Hey man. So this one's going to be a little bit different because neither of us actually really know Nate. First time really meeting him in person, so it's going to be interesting. Take that perspective on it this week.
Yeah, it's fun. I feel like every single other episode, one of us has had a relationship. It does make the conversation, I would say, maybe a bit easier, but it tailors the conversation a lot faster, right? And you kind of have a preset questions and notion. So let's just start it. Why don't you give the people listening as well as us kind of your background all the way up through CoMotion?
Well, my background is originally, I started out as a personal trainer, and I got into fitness when I was 18. So before that, I was a musician. I originally started going to music school. I thought I wanted to be a rock star, and obviously that didn't work out. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here right now. But didn't work out yet. I like your word, yeah.
Yes.
So, I got into fitness when I was 18, and that was always my second passion. And after the music stuff didn't work out, it started from something that I wanted to do for myself because I wanted to change because I'm just being insecure and I don't know, wanted to impress ladies and stuff. And then as I got good at that with myself, it's something I wanted to turn and help other people with. And I've always just had an entrepreneur mind and always knew I was going to work for myself. And that kind of evolved into owning a gym. And that's where I am right now.
Nice. Where is the gym? 1, 2, before we get into deeper questions. Let's get the plug in on this. CoMotion Fitness.
CoMotion Fitness, yeah.
What can people expect if they go there?
Walker's Point. So our main thing is group training. It's all based on progressions. We try to make it fun, but it's inclusive. So we spend part of it on being stronger, getting in better shape. We got like tons of before and after pictures, which is what draws a lot of people in. But the other part of it is that we're getting people the things that they need to have, like mobility work, making your connective tissue stronger, and focusing a lot on health. So it's not just something you can do short term, but something that people can do for the rest of their lives.
Sure. How is it different than CrossFit?
So it's a lot of the same stuff, but it's completely opposite philosophies. So CrossFit, and I don't want to speak for every CrossFit gym, but in CrossFit you're trying to race against the clock, and the good part about that is it makes it competitive because you're trying to beat a number in rounds or whatever. So what we do is, rather than trying to make it competitive by racing against the clock, like we try to make it more progressive, and generally for that you have to slow things down. So what we do, it's really hard to make competitive, but there's a lot more progression to it. So you look at, I like to take an example like box jumps in CrossFit. Like their purpose is to do as many box jumps as you can, so you're trying to go as quick as possible. Ours is just a tool for learning how to jump. So you're not just aiming at a box jump, like you're gonna continue that to jump higher, land on something more precise, so landing on a railing, farther away, higher up. So you're becoming more precise and you're honing in on the skill. So there's a lot different than that. And for that, in order to get better at that, doing box jumps as quick as you can is never gonna make you better at jumping on a small object. Like you're gonna have to slow it down and get better at the technique. Or same thing with like, they call it chest to bars, which is their version of pull-ups, which going as quick as you can, that's how you do it, is how they do it. But you know, if we're learning something like a strict muscle up or progressing into that skill, or backing up even farther, even teaching someone how to do a pull-up, you have to slow that down and work on the mechanics first. You can't just go as quick as you can. So there's a lot more progression to it. It goes beyond just how quick you can go. There's always like something harder to do. So that's like the main difference.
That definitely makes sense.
Well, go ahead. I was just gonna say, 'cause CrossFit, I feel like it's such a bad rap too, and I'm not defending CrossFit by any means, but like the kipping pull-up, and it's just everybody hates on them. I feel like, but they're still doing well. There is something to be said about circuit training, but to your point, really focusing on those muscle groups as well as and I'm not to speak for you, but form of doing a lot of those things
Correct.
too is a lot more important as well.
Yeah, if you don't have the form for the mechanics down, the efficiency, it's not that anything's actually wrong to do. But if your body's not conditioned to it, you're more likely to get injured, and you're not going to progress as quickly and build as much muscle as you potentially could be doing if you had the form down first. So there's more reasons to it than just not getting injured. You're going to build more muscle in places you want to build more body control, such as that. So
Sure. Do people come with you a lot, or come to you a lot, like wondering if you are CrossFit, or if you guys?
Yeah, people. We're considered a movement gym. Okay. No one really knows what that is. It's kind of a smaller niche, so. People ask that a lot of times. They come to the door. Oh, you guys do CrossFit? I'm like, oh, no. And then I just give them the same spiel like that to you guys. Yeah.
Okay. So movement gym, is that a thing that's around the country actually? Or
Yeah. So we follow a MoveNet curriculum, which is actually a global company that we're affiliated with, and that's kind of how it's easier to say we're affiliated, and they can go Google that and try to explain every little thing that we do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why did you choose that type of gym?
Just from trying everything. I've done, I was into bodybuilding stuff and thought I wanted to compete in that. I did powerlifting type training. I tried CrossFit before. I compete in jiu-jitsu right now, so that's like my thing, my sport that I do. And this is just what I found has the best bang for your buck. I can still look the way I want to look. I'd never be as big as a bodybuilder, but I'm still happy with like how I look. I'm never going to be as strong as a powerlifter, but I continue being strong. But all the little things, I'm like still very athletic. I like that. It keeps me bulletproof, so I'm not as prone to get injured. And I like the longevity of it. So I just feel like I get the most out of it for that type of training.
So what jiu-jitsu gym do you train at?
Neutral ground.
Neutral ground.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm actually looking to start doing jiu-jitsu. So
Yeah, man, come with me sometime.
yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, a buddy of mine would do it. So what?
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, it's
Practicing. that's what you do. But.
yeah, no, it's super interesting. I really want to try that because I want the challenge of like always working towards something. But anyway, that's jiu-jitsu stuff. But I did want to comment on one thing that you said because I never powerlifted and I was never a bodybuilder. But like when I was working out, or I guess when I was really trying to like build muscle and get bigger, and so like in college, you know, it's like I finally just came to the terms with the fact that I'll never be as big as a bodybuilder like a year ago. Like, I was still trying to like gain weight, put on muscle, and like do all these things, but not doing it correctly and not putting the time into it. And like just since then, it's been so much better. Like now I've just been focusing on just being healthy and continuing to work out for just to maintain muscle mass and maybe grow a bit stronger, but overall just being healthy. So I think that's kind of an interesting thought that you can have in all of this.
I think it's more of a mature goal after you've tried the other things and you realize, not that you can, like you said, not that you can continue to look better or be stronger, but those other things are nice too, being healthy. So.
Being healthy is
not a bad thing to have. So.
It is. So let's take this all the way back. You were in a band?
Yeah.
What band? What instrument did you play?
I play guitar. I played for a bunch of different bands. The last band I was in was called, last like rock band I was in, it was called Lost in the Name, and we kind of toured all over the place. Did that for a while. The band I was in college, so I was actually starting in college. I was in a band called Scarlet May, which turned names to Oregon Falls. And when I was in that band, I was in Whitewater. I was going to music classes. Drummer was in the same classes as I was, and he kind of leaned over to me. He's like, "Hey Nate, do you want to keep doing this, or do you want to actually go out and do it for real?" I was like, "I want to go do it for real." He's like, "Well, let's go do it." And I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Let's go right now." I was like, "Okay." So we just got up, left. Like I failed all my classes for that semester. I'm surprised my parents weren't more upset with me than they were. But we went and toured and did all that stuff. But being in close quarters with a bunch of guys that all think they know what's best is tough to do, and that's how it kind of fell apart. So, but it was fun. It was an experience. I wouldn't take it back to the world, and it was cool. We got to play with some pretty cool bands. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I actually didn't know you went to Whitewater.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Oh, you did? Okay.
You both went to Whitewater. So.
Yeah, I started there and then ended up in Milwaukee. So I graduated from UWM.
With what?
I started going with kinesiology. I thought I wanted to go for doing physical therapy, so I got all the prerequisites. I was already doing personal training. I realized there was like nothing more that kinesiology degree would do. And I already had business credits, so I ended up with business. I got communications because that was just the next thing. I thought maybe I wanted to get into like copywriting too. That was like another possible interest. So yeah, that's what I
kind of went through a little bit of everything there, huh?
Yeah, it's the most useless degree. I would never recommend anybody do that ever.
So shout out to communication.
We might have a different answer finally to our college question.
Go for it. Ask it.
So we ask everyone this, usually later. But so you went to college, you got a communications degree. Sounds like. Would you recommend it to people? Do you think it was like a waste?
It is the biggest waste of money I've ever spent anything on ever.
College in general, or your specific?
For me, like if you want to be a doctor, like you have to go to school. If you want to be a lawyer, like you have to do that. But for an entrepreneur, like no fucking way. Like it's such a waste of money. There's absolutely nothing I learned from there. Not to say I have like such a high value on education. I spend more on money on education now than I did in college. So I value it, but not a college education. If I could do it all over again, I'd go back to my younger self. It's hard to say because hindsight's 20/20. Like I learned some valuable lessons being in college. And who knows if I would have done the same thing. But if I could go back in time and make myself do something, I would have found whoever the most successful gym owner was and just do whatever I can to work for them, learn as much as possible. Whatever way that is, pay them, work for free, and just work my way up that way.
Okay. So what type of education are you going through right now? Like, do you have to do like personal training, continuing education? Like, what do you have to do?
So I kind of shifted. I still always learn more on the health and fitness side of things just to stay up to date. But most of my focus is on business training. So I have 2 different mentors right now. One is Alan Belcher. He used to be a professional fighter. I connected him when I trained in Milwaukee, and has his own business group, and he's one of my mentors that I meet about twice every year and go fly out with whoever else he trains too. And then I'm a part of another group. His name's Alex Hormanzi, and just I kind of discovered him online. I've been following him for like literally like the past 8 years. And I finally got in touch with him, and he talked me into spending a lot of money with him to learn some stuff. But it was a big step, but I wouldn't. It was like one of the best. I wish I would have done it sooner.
Both of them, or one?
Yeah, for both of them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you said you've been doing that how long? Have you actually been like kind of being mentored?
So with Alex, I've been with him for, it's just been like 3 months now.
Okay.
And for Alan, I've been with him for almost a year.
Okay.
But I've always like sought out other coaches, like people in the area, just whoever I thought might know somebody, and I don't know, paid them or offered them whatever I could at the time. So it was a good step up, like finding someone more expensive that knew more and working my way up to that.
So, and that shows one thing, especially the fact that you talk about, you do jiu-jitsu, and you have to be coachable to do that. You have to be able to take a beating as well. So to go out and see people that have done it, what you're trying to do successfully, and find a mentor in that way, it shows maturity as well as self-awareness of saying, hey, I don't know everything, or I need help in this area, right? And finding people who go do that. That's not always easy for a lot of entrepreneurs to do.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just want to be successful, and that's just what.
You're like, whatever it takes.
Yeah, I figure if someone else has done that, they're not different than me, so why can't I do that too? I just need to learn what they do, so it just makes sense to me.
Yeah, definitely. How long have you had your gym now?
So I was just looking at the paperwork today. I bought in originally 3 years ago, and this guy named Adam von Rothfelder opened it, and so I didn't start the gym, but it was about a year and a half ago. It was going back. It was me and 2 other guys, and then me and the other guy bought him out probably a few years ago, and then I bought out the other guy a year and a half ago, and then I brought in another guy that's associated with MoveNet, Cal Mylad, and he does all the programming stuff for the gym. So 3 years total for the gym, and then about a year and a half for like what it is like CoMotion for today.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
What was were you scared at all when you kind of joined into all that? You got into it? Were you nervous?
Just extremely ignorant. I thought it'd be easy and just didn't know any better.
What was the biggest thing that you found out you didn't know?
Everything. I like that sales matter, that you need to be able to sell people.
Sure.
That's something you need to do, that you can't just have a building and people show up, and that's not a thing at all. Like you have to do marketing, like you have to do sales. Mm-hmm. That's like the most important thing. Marketing, sales, and then keeping customers happy. That's everything in business. It's just those 3 things basically, and then the little things, whatever the bottlenecks are off of those 3 things. That's everything. I think like we always had like a good idea on a product, but just organizing it, making that better. But I think we always had like a decent product and a good idea. But yeah, just marketing, sales, like spending money on marketing, like investing to make more money.
Sure.
I think that was like a big thing.
So how have you changed it? Because you're right, like you guys sound like you guys have a great product. But if you package something wrong, and I imagine you know it better than anybody, if you market something wrong, or it could be the best idea ever, but if nobody knows about it, or if it gets told wrong, it's not going to get bought. So what did you guys do to figure all of that out? What are you guys doing now to market better? How'd you guys get into that?
get into marketing.
Or into marketing, into your current marketing plan? I don't know.
So a lot of different.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it just from, I do a lot of reading and read a lot of different books and listen to a lot of stuff. So I always knew that was a thing, like marketing is something you have to do. And then just getting like a more solid game plan is just something I've gotten from my coaches.
Sure.
And they've helped me tweak it as I go along, so it's been a huge advantage.
That's crazy. I wish I could just be entrepreneurial like that. Just start something. So
was this the only thing you've owned, or did you own anything before trying to start any other business, or is this like the one and only thing that you've been into now?
Yeah, me and a friend we started this as like a chemical solutions company, super random. He was a pharmacist. We did that for a while. We had an investment like for like a lab in China. We were gonna start like making our own stuff to be tested, and it just got shut down because the government can do stuff like that in China apparently. And yeah, we had a fallout with each other, and he ended up like bringing up his credit cards and just ghosting, and I like haven't heard from him since then. So that didn't end too well, but. And before that, I've always tried, like I've done in-home training, so
yeah.
I've been actually like working for myself for probably the last 6 years now, and just like doing different things like that. So in-home training, trying to do an online training for myself. So in one way or another, but yeah, some kind of like business. I've always tried to do something on the side. Now it's just full-time like the last however many years.
So you have employees, right? So what do you think, and what age are you hiring, like younger people, like millennials? And if they are, what do you think you see in their working style as well as like just their attitude towards work? Because as being younger people, we are looked down upon by older generations, I would say, especially in the working world. So curious on your, which you've had interactions with.
I feel like I've been super lucky with the coaches I have had.
Yeah.
That they're all very reliable, they're very hardworking. I'd say the biggest thing I notice is just, and I'm not saying like specifically the coaches at the gym, especially if they're listening to this. I feel like there's like a sense of entitlement that they feel like things should be handed to them before they like earn it. And I know from my experience, and I'm sure you guys know too, like it takes a lot of work on the front end. And then you do a lot for nothing in the beginning, and then it comes back to you later. But I don't think a lot of people realize that. They're not willing to put in the weight. They're not willing to like stick something out long enough. It's just like they try something for a couple months and it doesn't work, and they just jump to the next thing, and it's like a half-done project, which is if you never finish anything. But I totally get it, because you like start. It's exciting when it's new and you start a project. You're doing it for a few months. It seems fun. It's cool. Like you have this awesome idea, but nothing happens, and you realize you're spending how many hours a week. You're not making any money from it. Yep. You're doing all this work, and it's basically for nothing. Or it seems like it's for nothing. And then you like come up with a new idea. You're like, this isn't for me. Like I'll jump over this. This is a better idea. Yep. But there's like, I feel like there's like a few phases where you're putting all this work in, it feels like you're not getting anything back, and you just like, if you can like break through that and keep going, and I feel like there's like one more time where then it seems like ridiculous, like you should definitely quit at this point, and everybody says this, and then if you can get past that point, then it'll like start working.
So how do you get past that though? Like how do you push through that wall or climb over it to get to
I think shifting, like being passionate about it,
sure,
and looking at it by the people that you're currently helping, and changing your perspective on things, and rather just trying to make a successful business, making it about helping the people that you are helping, and like seeing a bigger vision that if I stop, I'm doing a disservice to all these people that I could potentially help. So I think just changing your perspective on it.
Yeah. Do you see that with your clientele too?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see it differently with different age groups?
As far as what?
Sticking with the gym?
Yeah, sticking with the gym, or like the work ethic of a millennial versus baby boomer, whoever. Is that something that you can tell really straightforward, or is that not so much?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've noticed that across the board with millennials in general, that they're just always looking for something better. But I think that's a trait not just in millennials too. In the fitness world, I feel like people just coming in to work out, they're always like looking for something different. That it's like easy, they're not getting the results they want right away. or something's not happening, it's like shiny object syndrome, where they're jumping to the next thing and they think there's some secret magic pill out there that's going to help them, and it's not the case. You know, it's just the same as everything else. Being consistent, sticking with it, and putting in hard work.
How do you get those people to stay with you personally, like at your gym?
Just like making it fun,
Yeah.
trying to make it enjoyable. I think trying to make the workouts so they're still doing something. They're still doing what they're supposed to, but trying to make it interesting so it's actually enjoyable. I think just like the community of people, like that part, like it's cool, like seeing everybody like make friends, like knowing that no one judges you when you come in. And I've gotten like so many compliments from people saying that everyone's been so welcoming when they come in, and that they feel like it just makes it fun. Like you're hanging out with a group of friends and they're all doing the same thing you're trying to do, and I think that helps you stick with it. I'm sure just like, you know, like doing like a project like this together, it's better doing it with somebody where it kind of makes it fun as opposed to just doing it by yourself.
For sure.
I definitely had, I think it was especially this weekend too, like with this podcast, kind of almost like I almost kind of hit that wall where I was kind of like, it's been a long week. I was super busy all week. I had some family things go down, and it was like, all right, now it's a Wednesday night. I'm kind of come here. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Like, I could say I'm tired, blah blah blah. But I'm like, that's not the point. That's not why I got into this. It's like you really kind of got to remember why you started it. And like we talked before the podcast, and I was kind of explaining it, and even that was just kind of like reminding myself of like why I did reach out to you, why I had this idea. And I think that truly is how you kind of continue through those, because it is hard. Like, it's hard to keep doing something when you're not getting any like visible return out of it, especially when you think about working out, because it's such a gradual process of getting fit, if you will, of losing weight, of gaining muscle. It all takes time, and you don't see it in the mirror until like a year later, you know?
Yeah, I think part of it's just enjoying it too.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy it and you you would do it even if you don't make money from it, then it makes it a lot easier too.
That's true. It's hard when you're not making money. I'll tell you that.
I mean, making money is fun too. It makes it even more enjoyable, but if you can enjoy it without that, then that'll help too.
Definitely. So you're talking about how your gym has like an awesome community.
Yeah.
Like 2 questions for that. 1, how did you get that community? And 2, well actually let's just ask that first. How did you get that community to where it is now?
I don't know. I feel like luck, I don't know. Just I think like the coaches are cool, so they just draw on other people that are cool.
Yeah.
You know, like however you think of like law of attraction or whatever your belief is on that, or just attracting people who are like each other and just building common interests, and like I said, like-minded people, and seeing people with the same goals and wanting to be like that too, and being more expensive too. Weeding out people that are less serious about it.
Sure.
I know it sounds like a little bit, not to sound like elitist, but if you're not that you're necessarily wealthier, but if you're valuing that more, you're going to pay more attention to it, and you're going to make it more of your priority, and it's going to mean more to you. And if you're in that same boat with everyone else, then I think you can click in that way too.
Definitely.
That you have that same priority.
And to that point, and to take that maybe even more macro level, like you can go to Planet Fitness for $10 a month. If like you don't want to spend money, but you want to still go to a gym. Like, you know, you only go to, especially with the group classes like that, I think that also helps build a community of people, because you are getting to meet new people all the time. It's not when you go to a gym, everybody has their headphones on, everybody's doing their own thing. And it's kind of awkward, like even if you need a spot to just go up and ask somebody, like, hey man, can you stand behind me with your nuts in my face while I push this bar up and down? Like, it's maybe not the easiest thing, especially for newcomers to fitness, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So the part 2 of that question, have you ever had a problem where you had someone that didn't fit into the community, where they made things like worse, like to the point where you've ever had to kick them out?
I've always been terrified of that happening, and it hasn't.
Really?
Yet. Yeah.
That surprises me.
It does to me too, especially after some of the other places I've worked at and seeing how shitty people are and just the stuff they complain about. It's just like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like the things like I couldn't even like make up the things that they complain about. I'm like, oh man, I don't know how I could handle this, like having people like that. And it's literally never ever been a problem with somebody not fitting in or being cool. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have like a vetting process for new people, like, or do you just kind of like let anyone in as long as they kind of?
Well, you know, the way we've been doing it is they come in and try out a session, And I usually run through a list of questions, basically figuring out like what their goals are, what their priorities are, and figuring out like if this is important to you, like where they're at with things. And I don't know if it's just like the way I question things, it kind of like brings their values to the surface, and maybe that helps them see if they're like a good fit or not for the gym. And then like just trying the experience too, and like seeing if it's something that they're part of. And I think that having them try it out and then going over everything with them and figuring out what their values are, I think part of that help people figure out whether or not, and just naturally, if they're not a good fit for it, then they don't do it. So
it's probably smart. You don't want to spend money on something you're not super into, or maybe you don't think is right for you. I was quite curious on how you dealt with interviewing people you hire and how you kind of grown into that as you've been a business owner, whether it's coaches, the front desk person, I'm not sure if you have one.
Yeah.
Kind of just going through that, what do you look for in a candidate that you're hiring, and what have you seen and what have you done so far?
Man, that's the other thing that terrifies me is hiring the wrong person too. And I'm super slow hiring people, and I give super vague answers when they're, so when do you think like we could start on board? I'm like, I don't know. How long you stick around for it so I can get a feel for you and see if you're cool or not. It's a mix between like having the basic prerequisites but everyone that's worked there, it's just like people that have somehow like just stuck it out. Like my desk lady I have now, she's just the best person to have. Like she's like the warmest, loudest, most welcoming person to have, and she like says hi to everybody when they walk in. She's like perfect for the job, and she's just been around for like the last year or so. And when the opportunity came up, I'm like, yeah, you're perfect for it. And like with some of the coaches, we usually do like internship, and just having them work like, I think we do 50 hours now that they have to go through, and have like the certifications and stuff. And again, I think it's just like naturally like filters out people that don't want to be there, and people that start clicking with the other coaches and the community and the members, they're the ones that generally stick around anyways. And then it's just like a matter of time till they're caught up skill-wise. But I try to look for personality first, and people that are just like good, genuine people, and people that care more about serving other people than themselves necessarily. And then from there, I feel like it's just a matter of time then before I feel like you can, as long as they're coachable, you can bring them up to speed and get them to where we want to be. Just as long as they're okay not knowing how long, because I don't know either. You know?
That's true. Oh, that's cool. And you said it's luck that you have such an awesome community, and I think you're being like a little too humble. It sounds like you put awesome like kind of processes into play that make it so the people that you're hiring are great. The people that come through are making sure that they're going to fit with who you are and your morals as a person in your gym. It sounds like you're kind of just killing it in that aspect.
I would have it on the top. I'll start with you anyway.
Well, thanks for calling it a process. That's a compliment. So, I'm trying to get to that point where it's actually on paper like that.
All you have to do is write it down, and it's a process. Trust me.
That's true. That's very true.
Processes and controls, all I need to do is be written
I
down.
had my desk lady just to transcribe this conversation and put that in the handbook.
Done. Bind it.
What are the certifications that like your coaches, what do they have to get in order to be a coach?
Everyone just needs a basic personal training certifications. There's like some very recognized basic ones. Like,
do they actually need it? Like,
do I?
Like,
no.
If you didn't require it, would they actually need it to like legally do it?
No.
Okay,
no.
so you're just like thinking.
I think there's like some. I think if, to like protect themselves, there's like some insurance parts of things that helps keep them protected, but. It's more about what they know. It's just like a filtering process, just the bare minimum of what you should know. But technically, it's just knowing it. They don't necessarily need to have that. It's just it's not like a legal thing.
Definitely. Do you do that like as an onboarding process during their internship, or do you usually hire people that already have it? Or
I try to hire people that have it, just if I don't know them. But if I know them, then I know what they're capable of. That's the most important thing, is just what they can actually do more so than what they have on paper.
Okay.
But it's nice to know if they have that background. It's hard to know what people know without knowing them. So if you know they know the bare minimum, then that helps figure out a lot off the bat. And then just kind of figure out the specialties part of things, so it makes things a little quicker.
Yeah, so I wanted to switch the conversation over to your diet as well as recommended nutrition that you guys give out. So I don't know if you guys give out recommended nutrition, and if you do, what is it? If not, what do you kind of focus on in your own life?
Yeah, I think, we do nutrition included with the program too. And I think all the coaches, pretty much everyone I know that's in good shape, we all follow the same philosophy as far as I know. And that's not doing any extremely rigid diet or something overkill, but most of the time following eating what you should. So something that's high in protein, trying to get as many vegetables as you can, eating good wholesome foods. Like just not overcomplicating it. I think in the beginning you can be a little stricter with it just to figure out what works well for you. And I generally recommend like people writing everything down, seeing so they have the data, they know exactly what they're doing, and then going off like tweaking that from there. And then from there you go from more like eyeballing at portion sizes after you have the exact numbers. And then once you get good at that, then just going more by intuition, because you're not gonna write every single little number down for the rest of your life. But that's like a good starting point if you don't know what's in your food and not recognizing it. So it's like learning what you're actually eating and then shifting that into what works for you, and then going more into intuitive, going by feel, and just eyeballing stuff and going like that and making it more sustainable long term.
That's a great answer, because I think, and a friend of mine and I talk about this all the time about how like diets are just inherently dumb, because it's setting you up for failure, because they are, as you said, strict to the point of where you can eat nothing but what they say, and then you lose the 10 pounds that you're trying to lose, and then you go back to eating whatever you were before, which means you gained those 10 pounds originally. So it seems to be what started to work for me more as just following kind of just what you talk about. It's like just eating healthier in general, but allowing a cheat day every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. And I talk to so many people, and I just met with like a few people today.
Sure.
And people that have tried like doing keto diets, Atkins or whatever other diet there is. And I like sit down with them, I'm like, well, how much weight have you lost so far? I'm like, well, like 10 pounds in the last couple months. I'm like, okay. They're like, well, I'm like, are you happy with that progress? They're like, yeah, but when I did keto, I lost 20 pounds. I'm like, okay. And then what happened after that? Well, obviously they gained all the weight back. That's why they're here. And then my next question, I was like, okay, you lost 10 pounds. Like, do you feel like what you ate over the last couple months, is this something that you can continue to do the rest of your life? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So you're on track to losing 100 pounds in a year. That's amazing. And like I see a little light bulb go off in their head, like, oh, cool, I can do that. It doesn't have to be really, really strict. I can find foods and I can actually continue to make progress, and that might actually be better than doing these crash diets and looping back and forth, which is even worse for you because it starts messing with your hormones a different way.
That's cool to think about it. Like something that, I'm not a nutritionist, so I eat fairly healthy, but like what I've found that people find successful is like thinking of it as a lifestyle change versus just a diet. You can't think of it as a diet. You gotta think that you're being a healthier person and you're changing your mindset completely.
Yeah, if you can't do something long term and keep doing it, then there's really no point in doing it at all.
I agree.
What's the recommendation for people going out to a restaurant? What types of things are you looking to order? Because I can't eat salad, so what should I eat? Because that's just not gonna satiate me.
I just start with so that's the thing too, you can balance it out with like other things. So I don't think you need to, so my thing I do is I keep good food in the house, and then when I go out to eat, I go off and I kind of have whatever I want. A little bit more, if you're trying to stick to something though, I'd say like start with your protein, like figure out what your protein will be, and then find your best option, probably not going with something fried.
Okay.
And then, maybe you can like make little swaps or substitutions for stuff. Even if you got a burger, maybe just swap out the fries for fruit or something, whatever. Something a little bit better. But
what about the bread for lettuce and keeping the fries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd say like maybe like substitute one of those to stay on track.
Yeah.
I just like look at it and like, okay, where's my protein, my fat, my carbs? I always try to keep like a balance of those.
Sure.
And then vegetables to fill up the rest. So I'm trying to see like where I'm in balance for those. And like you said, yeah, maybe doing the lettuce and then keeping the fries, or vice versa, cutting out the fries, keeping the bun, and just keeping it balanced that way. But then the thing is too, like let's say like you do the bun, the fries, like you could always at your next meal cut out so you're adding more carbs and more fats that meal.
Yeah.
The next meal you could just cut out the carbs and fats and just keep more protein in. And then I'd say that's a good way to balance it out if you do something like that. So it's more over the term of the course of a day or even 2 days, because your digestion takes a long time to happen, rather than just going meal by meal.
Oh, that's really good advice. I never really thought about it that way. Sorry, that's it. Deep thought there.
Yeah.
Okay, I lost my train of thought because I was just thinking about my own diet. Sorry. What is your yeah, well, I was thinking about Chick-fil-A because
It's funny you say that, because I drove by it today. I was like, I need it. I was like, no, I can do it. I can wait till I
Look
get
at
there.
that Chick-fil-A around here.
I wasn't. It was over in Brookfield for a meeting. Driving back.
I work
Chick-fil-A is my damn.
I've never eaten there before.
What? Oh, you're missing out.
It's the
dude.
Chick-fil-A sauce. It's what gets me, man.
The sauce.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And then you have waffle fries too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So it's worth the drive out to Brookfield.
Yeah, there's one.
Try it.
There's a couple of close. There's one in
there?
Dallas. There's one in Tosa too. So they're around.
Next time we see you, though, I want to see you like super fat because of us introducing you to Chick-fil-A.
That's what I say. Like that's my cheat meal. Is I go out stuff to go to Chick-fil-A. I was gonna ask what yours is. Like when you kind of just splurge on it.
Pizza for sure.
Pizza. What do you get on it? What kind of pizza?
Man, have you guys been to Fixture? It's in
No.
they have a pizza. It sounds weird,
Wait, what's it
but
called?
Fixture Pizza.
Okay.
I hope I get a sponsorship from this. it's
All right, you better sell it. Now. It's gonna be bad.
It's they have this pizza. It's pepperoni and cream cheese. It sounds so weird, but I have dreams about it. It's so good. It's the best pizza I've ever had.
So are we talking a thin crust? Or are we talking?
It's a thin crust
It's a
pizza,
thin crust
yeah.
with some red sauce.
Yeah, I don't.
Then some cheese, and then you're throwing pepperoni and cream cheese on it.
Yeah,
Huh.
it sounds weird, but it's so good.
Well, I could see that. Like my girlfriend puts a ranch on her pizza, so it could be just a substitution for that, right?
Yeah, I can't. You just have to try it out. I can't explain it to you.
Can't explain it.
But I don't. With that being said, I don't discriminate against. I'd have any kind of pizza.
All discrimination against
It's
pizza.
all good. Yeah, I usually put down one a week.
One a week.
Yeah.
When do you usually take your cheat meal? Is it Fridays and Monday? Like, are you trying to?
I like doing Sundays. I wait till I can probably handle it because I try to get a good workout in. I try to make sure I've at least like earned it for the day, and something that I've like actually done some exercises, some hard work, and then I like to do it at the end of the day just because I like to eat good more so for my mental clarity, feeling good, my well-being, more so than obviously for health and like looking good too, but when I have it at the end of the day, I just feel like it doesn't make me feel like a worthless piece of shit the rest of the day.
What is your opinion? Like, I don't know if you drink alcohol, but like when you have people that come to the gym, that do you guys give advice on like how much alcohol to drink or what types of alcohol that are less healthy? Because it's all poison at a certain level.
Yeah, that's always such a hard question. I've never been a huge drinker, so it's easy for me just to say don't do it a lot. But I'd say start with cutting out the sugary drinks. If you can start by doing that, I don't know. A few people said they really like cucumber vodkas and sodas. They're supposed to be like the good tasting drink.
Yes, my girlfriend is drinking cucumber vodka and like
they're not bad, yeah. So cutting out the sugary drinks, I'd say, and then at that you just know that the more the worse for you. There's not really, I don't think like one is gonna kill you, but yeah, I don't know. The more the worse. There's not really like a guideline. I think it's just reduce it as much as you can, and I think like once you start getting to the point where you're hungover, you're obviously throwing off your nitrogen balance and you're throwing off your dehydrated, which obviously is bad and probably the most underrated thing in fitness is just staying hydrated. So yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one, especially, I mean, that's like probably the biggest issue for most people too, is just drinking a lot.
Well, especially in your 20s, because you come out of college and you're partying all the time, doing all of that, and then you're trying to be healthy at the same time, and those two just don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, the problem is we didn't have bike club in school. That wasn't around yet.
I get the worst hangovers from those.
What?
I drank 3 one night and I woke up with the worst headache. I don't drink one anymore because I'm like, it's just, I think it's all the sugar in it, and I think it's also because it's like, it's not vodka, it's grain alcohol.
Yeah.
But Four Loko came out with one today, a hard seltzer that's 14% alcohol by volume.
That's
so
crazy.
Let's go.
So did PBR, which is 8%.
Oh god. So did Natty Light.
Yeah. The train is just continuing.
God. Anyway.
But anyway,
sorry.
So I have a couple questions just about you personally. Like, how often do you work out? Are you in there every single day?
I train jiu-jitsu probably I try to aim for 3 times a week.
Okay.
So at least 2 to 3 times a week I train jiu-jitsu. And yeah, I probably work out pretty much every day, doing something. I get sidetracked really easily, especially when I'm there. I've actually debated getting another gym membership, just so I'm not as distracted, but I usually do something every day, even if it's just mobility work or just something to keep the ball rolling and not backtracking at anything.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have, I don't want to say, like kind of like sister gyms or people that you collaborate with a lot?
Not really.
No?
I kind of just focus on my own thing, and other than neutral ground, because I go there and train there for jiu-jitsu, but.
Yeah. Do you have anyone that works out with you at CoMotion that also does jiu-jitsu with you?
There's some members there, yeah. There's some members there that do both.
That's cool.
Yeah, and they've noticed a big impact off of it, and yeah, I think most of the people that train jiu-jitsu, there's a few that do it for increasing endurance and strength and flexibility with jiu-jitsu. It's pure technique. It's all, you shouldn't need any of that stuff, but it helps. Like, it's like another tool in your box, and the more flexible, the quicker you are, the stronger you are, it's always going to help. And I think more so also just to protect your body, keep balance. Like, jiu-jitsu is you're very crunched up and hunched over all the time, and this helps open your body back up. So I think for like longevity's sake, it's good for that type of thing. We've had like a few professional fighters come through too, and some other random professional athletes that train just for the same reasons.
Just randomly driving by, or they reach out to you beforehand?
Yeah, they usually reach out and get them situated, yeah.
Any bucks? Any lucky bucks come through?
No, not yet.
Gotta get someone out of there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
DJ Wilson's out there grinding. Shout out to who should have been most improved of the year.
So how often do you actually coach in your gym?
Right now I'm just doing once a week. I still got a few, so I usually do Friday nights, which is like, I feel like everyone's in a good mood because it's Friday, so that's a fun class to do. I'll fill in where I need to, and I still have a few personal training clients. I've been trying to wean out for the last like 2 years from personal training, but everyone I work with now are people that I kind of know on a personal level, so I don't really accept anyone new, I guess, unless they're willing to pay a ridiculous amount of money. But I try to just pass people along to other people now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, so walk us through like a typical day in your life, and then give us the overview, like how many hours are you at the gym working, and then, what is your advice, and this is just 3 questions, so I don't interrupt you at all, and then what is your advice to any new entrepreneur on dealing with those hours, but also finding a balance in your life of making sure that you're staying sane and getting out, you're doing something else maybe for a little bit as well?
I'm definitely not the right person to talk to about balance. I have zero balance. I don't know, but I enjoy doing this. This is what I do for fun. I like coming here and talking about this stuff and like collaborating with people. That's what's fun to me.
Sure.
I like working on business stuff. I don't really do anything else. My friend's like, oh yeah, it's Nate. He doesn't have fun. He doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. So as far as that goes, I know every podcast book, whatever, says wake up early. I haven't gotten a handle on that part of things quite yet.
So when you alarm going off?
I don't wake up to an alarm usually. I think a good schedule for me would be midnight to 8. I tried doing this new thing where I leave my blinds open so the light wakes me up, so I don't sleep in too late now. Wow. I'm not trouble with that.
Trying to work third shift.
I'm a little slow moving in the morning, but I usually get up. I read. I try to do the educational stuff where I'm not moving around a lot. An ideal morning if I can go for a walk or something. I usually try to walk. I don't keep coffee in my house or tea, so I try to force myself to walk to go get it now, which I feel like is a good trick just to get moving. I think it's good for you to do some kind of exercise right away. I kind of enjoy it too, and then usually doing some kind of reading, some kind of educational work, and then getting a game plan for the day, figuring out what the most important thing is I need to do to move the needle forward a little bit, and just try to focus on that one thing and prioritizing that over everything else, and just trying to make sure I get that done before the end of the day. And then all that's filled in between with just general bullshit stuff that I need to like hire out for.
That's cool. So was it hard for you to actually like push off your coaching, kind of like delegating to other trainers, actually hiring? Did you have a hard time doing that when you first did?
Yeah, mainly just for the money side of things. I made pretty decent money doing personal training, so it's hard to push that off and say no to people because I know it's not the most important thing I could be doing, and I know in the future not getting the immediate wealth from it, I guess, will create more wealth in the future. So, but that part's hard. It's when somebody wants to pay you $1,200 to train them a couple times a week. It's hard to say no. That it's easy money, more or less, for me to do. But I know that like those few hours I could be doing something else that'll create more wealth in the future. So and like I like helping people too. I like seeing people through to it. So I enjoy that part too. And just like when it's people I know and I know I could help them, that part's hard too. But I trust my coaches, and I try to tell them, I'm like, listen, like you can get the same results with them as you do with me. So they're gonna be cheaper, so just go with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I say like just like passing on the pay thing. But as a business and company grows, it becomes easier and easier to do that, which is a good thing. And I start like raising my value per time, and I just try to stick to that. And if anything falls underneath that number, I just don't do it, and just try to stick to things that I think I'm more valued in per hour during the day.
That's a good answer.
Better than my video. Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things that I can imagine, especially from entrepreneurship. Like when you get to that point of the business is self-sufficient, now you need to start delegating things off, and you really need to focus on more of the administrative things. It's got to be a little bit more difficult because your passion, I think your passion is like business, it seems like less just the fitness aspect of it, especially only coaching 1 night a week already now. Mm-hmm. So hearing that, like it is, you have a very logical view of it, I feel like, of knowing what your value is per hour and kind of sticking to it, and the sacrifice of the money now for the wealth later. It's called back to kind of what we were talking about before, of like pushing through those walls of like getting through it, remembering why you're doing something, and kind of keeping on that path.
Yeah, it always seems like a big chunk of money too, or just hiring somebody new and just seeing, okay, I gotta pay this person this much a month. And it seems like such a stretch at the time, but just trusting that that's gonna help grow the business, and that's gonna be an investment to make more money later on. But that's always like a risk, you don't know that 100% for sure. Like hiring a desk lady on for 20 hours a week, is that gonna make me more money in the future? That's like a big chunk of change to spend all of a sudden. Or with like anything you spend money on, I'm sure. Like same with marketing too.
No, 100%.
I'm sure you know that as well.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for us to sell and new clients is, is there going to be ROI in this? And yeah, there will be almost all the time. But it's, a lot of times it's going to be long play on it. It's not going to be something you see immediately. Like that's why we tell people like we need at least 3 months with you. We need this.
So how do you handle that decision making then? Because you're right, it's a calculated risk, but it's a risk at the same time, and there is an upfront cost that comes with it with non-guaranteed outcomes. So what are the things you look for in the decisions that you make like that, like hiring somebody new or deciding to go with a marketing firm or whatever?
That's when it's nice having a coach, because I can just ask them, what should I do? They just tell me. And then I try to look at it as I try to see it now as how many new members do I need coming in to cover this cost? Mm-hmm. So I look at it as, instead of a dollar amount, a member amount.
Sure.
I'm like, okay, this person coming in, this is going to be worth 10 members. Is this person going to help me get and retain 10 members? If I say, yeah, I'm like, well, that makes sense then. And if they help me get more than that, then that's profit. So
right.
It's just, but yeah, like the hard questions, just ask the coach and just trust them and try to take my emotions out of it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have right now?
I think there's 12 of us at the
gym.
gym.
Holy shit, I didn't realize there was that many.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Most of them full-time, or part-time, sorry.
Still,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Are most of them coaches?
Yeah, there's 3 yoga teachers.
Wow.
3 of them are personal trainers, or 4 of them are personal trainers and coaches. and then the rest are just coaches.
Okay. So you guys do one-on-one training sessions as
Yeah.
well? Okay.
Yeah, we do one-on-one. We do have like just regular gym memberships where people can come in and do their own thing too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So tell the people, like, what are prices for each of these, or do you not want to get into that?
Yeah, it really depends on the program and stuff like that. So we have like it's like a pretty broad subject. You could spend a little bit of money or a ton of money. It just depends what your goal is and what you're looking to get out of it. What you're the time you're investing into it. So it depends on that.
Yeah. As soon as I asked, I was like, that's probably a more complicated question.
Yeah.
It's $52 a month.
yeah, for sure. So what's the future for CoMotion? Like, do you guys have a plan? Like, do you want to expand the gym? Like, it's pretty big already. Like, what do you have for the future?
Yeah, probably to just keep growing it, expand. I'd like to get more locations.
Would you? Where would you go next?
I was thinking either Mequon area or maybe Brookfield area.
Go where the money is.
Or Chick-fil-A, right? Yeah, it's cool like the spot we have now, but it is a lot of like people our age, and that means like people changing jobs and moving. It'd be nice to be in like an established community where people don't move away all the time.
That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even really think about that because like if you live in the suburbs of really easy to root it down there and you'll get long-term clientele there, right?
Yeah, and I think it'd be cool marketing to a little bit older demographic too.
Sure.
And the people, we do have some older people, I guess, at the gym. Mm-hmm. And they're really like the ones that benefit the most because they need this stuff. A lot of the younger guys, they do it for improved athleticism, but when you're older, like this is stuff you need to stay healthy and like keep your joints strong. And those are the people that honestly like, benefit the most from doing what we do. Mm-hmm. But I think like shifting the marketing away from just showing like we can teach you how to do this tricky stuff, like all the cool looking stuff, and more this is what you need just to play with your kids or work in your garden, or the more practical.
Yeah, or literally just sit down and get up.
Exactly. Yeah, like just getting off the ground. That's like there's a 75-year-old lady that I'm working with right now, and she can get up off the ground without using her hands.
Dang.
And she's like, none of my friends can do this. I can whoop their ass. That's awesome.
That's your marketing right there.
I'd like to film that and have a testimonial. Like, let's do this.
Yeah. Saying I could kick my friend's ass is perfect. That's the wrong time right there. That's fine. Have you thought about franchising it, or are you looking to just open up your own separate location?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far in advance. Whatever growth, I guess. But yeah, definitely continue to expand somehow. So maybe.
Who knows? And then my other question is going to be: have you thought about creating your own curriculum outside of the affiliate that you have, or do you kind of like having that kind of pre-built program all set up, ready to kind of go?
So that's why I brought on Kellen, because he does all the curriculum for everything.
Sure.
He's the fitness guru and things. Like I've definitely been doing this a long time, but he's the smart one with that kind of stuff. He's trained all over the world. He's trained with everybody. He's like a freak of nature when it comes to like what he can do. He's capable of. He can do one-arm handstands. He's just this is his life. He lives and breathes this stuff. He does this all day, every day. It's just he trains like this, and he knows more than anybody I know. So I wouldn't ever try doing when I have someone at my that I can utilize to do this for me, and that I'm teamed up with. That's why I make such a good, I don't know, partner, couple.
What's a great couple? The dynamic duo, good business partner.
Yeah. So I just need to keep using him because I don't think I could ever do anything better than he can. So
there you go. Answers that question. I think that's something to recurring theme I feel like we found in this podcast from the first 6 episodes is like understanding, being self-aware to your strengths and your weaknesses, right? And trying to manage your weaknesses by either bringing on people that can help and take over those portions of the things, or learning it better yourself and really focusing and strengthening your weaknesses.
Yeah, I think that was like a big realization for me, that I was always self-conscious about being stupid or dumb, but now I don't care. I just need to find someone that's smarter than me and convince them to work for me. So I don't care. I don't have pride. Like I just need to have you on my team and I'm good to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I love that.
All right, anything else?
No, do you have anything else? No?
No, do you have any questions for us? This is your time. It's a conversation. We don't want to take it all. Any questions for us?
I mean, I'm interested in the marketing, like what you're, I don't know if you want to get into that stuff, but you know, like your clients and stuff, or is that?
Well, what about them?
Like, what kind of people do you like working with? Like, what have you seen working well?
Yeah, I mean, for us, like personally, we work with the health and wellness industry, like smaller businesses. That's our like bread and butter. Things like kind of Jacobs was just saying that work really well are finding people like your older, woman who's 75 who's on the ground, and she's a prime example of the other type of clientele that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what we do best is finding people who already have an awesome gym space, are great at what they do, whatever they're doing, and aren't killing it online already, and just like telling their story online, helping them tell that story. That's where we've found that success. It's so easy to show off a space, or like people don't realize how cool some of the stuff they're doing is. Like we just started working, for example, with a printing company, and they have this industrial sized printer that cuts like thousands of sheets of paper. And we're taking video of this shit and just like slowing it down, making it like incredibly satisfying, like one of the satisfying videos.
Yes, it's just gonna comment that. That's what it would be. Yeah.
No, for sure. And that's like what we're doing is just taking all that stuff, and they saw us doing this. Like, what are you doing? Why are you taking the video of this? But it's that kind of stuff that gets the best outreach to new people, and it's just a lot of what we do well and what we find works is content. Just making original content, and I see that you do that pretty well already.
Yeah. So another question, I thought about this earlier for you too, is you said it's the same for me, like convincing someone that spending a lot of money with us is a good investment and good return. How do you talk people into doing that?
It's tough because I don't want to have to talk them into it too much. I want them to come to that conclusion on their own. So what we do is we give a lot of value for free. We'll always talk to people and pretty much just like tell them exactly what they need to do on their own if they were to do it. So like, for example, if you wanted to run a Facebook ad, like we'd tell you, here's exactly how you do it, kind of like give them a guide to do it, and here you go. Like what they find then is they're not as good at it as they thought they would be, or two, like they don't have the time for it, and that's like kind of when they see like us. Then we'll sit there and like do it with them once and like show you like this is what you messed up, or this is what you could have done differently. So it's just helping people out really instead of trying to sell them. It's really what we've been doing.
Sure. Yeah, I think like for me too, like just shifting my whole attitude and just giving as much as possible, helping as much as possible, and not trying to necessarily sell anybody. Social media or whatnot, that's been the best way to get more people to come back through.
Definitely, because
it doesn't make you seem like a person who's just trying to make you buy something.
Right, it's authentic.
It builds a relationship.
Exactly. And that's the thing too, is when you get someone to come to you for that, then like they're gonna stay. Like they're gonna be there long term. Like you didn't have to sell them to be there. They're not gonna be questioning, what your motives are. And it's like an actual relationship that you build with these people versus a sale that you made of someone that, direct message, for example. It's way different.
Sure.
And there's time for sales, like you said, like a really big part of a business is sales, but there's a time for it, and there's a time to be authentic, genuine, and helpful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I know all the answers either. I'm young in my business, like I've only had this 2.5 years now, so we're pretty much the same spaces where we are with our businesses, but that's what like we found has worked really well for us.
Cool. I have another question for you guys. I'm just gonna turn this into my own podcast.
Yeah, that's good. I love it. This is great.
So from the people you've talked to in the past, like doing these, like what are the biggest things you guys have learned?
It's a good question.
It's a great question.
I loved when we had your boss's boss on, and he was talking just about like hierarchy in the workplace, just saying that. So he was like borderline millennial, like just over millennial. Well, I don't know exactly how old he was.
Okay.
But anyway, he was talking about like how he, like kind of the type of workforce that he grew up in, kind of like trading, like in finance. They didn't have like a lot of hierarchy. Everything was really flat. And he thought that just made the camaraderie of the team and just the like mutual respect on the team like just so much better. I thought that was really cool, just versus having like you report to you and you have to talk to you to get to you and all this stuff. That was like one of my favorite parts of this podcast so far.
I don't think I've learned like one particular thing.
Yeah.
I I think I've learned just a lot more of like how many, when you stumble with those issues, because it's one of those things that I found that I struggled with a lot, especially when I was doing a podcast for my Bucks podcast for 2 years. I had never tried to run ads, and I don't have enough listeners to even really make it worth anybody's time, really. But I have enough where I still feel confident and keep going. I have a nice little community that listens to it. And this summer was it was a debate on whether I was going to keep doing it or I was going to stop doing it. I've actually decided to keep doing it, and I've signed an agreement to become part of a media group to help sell ads and help grow, because it was part of the same reason I brought you on, was I was not good at marketing. I don't have time to put content out. I don't have time to have a full-time job outside of this, and not that you don't, I don't want that to know your full-time job is putting out content, so that was helpful. So it was really finding the yin to my yang, I guess you could say, and learning how other people have done that is helpful and eye-opening too.
Cool.
Yeah, and what you said too, like how everyone that we've brought up now is just awesome. Like there's so many awesome people out there doing what another thing I realized is how many different things people are doing. Like you have a job, 9 to 5, but you have 2 podcasts that you do and a shit ton of other stuff you do. There's so many people else out there like that. They just don't do one thing. And especially as business owners, I've found like they almost never have just one stream of income. And it's cool how awesome everyone is.
And I'm just gonna bring like even you, like it's crazy that you were a rock band. Like,
Yeah.
You kind of dropped out of college and went toured. Like that's wild. And now you are a successful business owner. And please don't take this wrong, but how you can kind of do something like that, which if some people who couldn't get back up from maybe failing at that or going back and getting through college, maybe that would kind of hinder them from being a successful person. So like hearing somebody's story like that, like just because I didn't make it playing guitar doesn't mean I can't make it doing something else, and kind of channeling your passions to be better at that.
Yeah, I think my parents were pretty worried for a while that this is getting into my late 20s and not having an established job still, and but I'm lucky that they've been super supportive and just trusting that I kind of knew what I was doing, or
you were gonna figure it out.
That I was gonna figure it out one way or another.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, I think that was a great podcast. Why don't we time for plugs? Where can people find CoMotion Fitness on social media? And if they want to sign up or learn more, where can they go?
So Instagram, I think Instagram and both Facebook are CoMotion_fit.
Okay.
My personal Instagram is Nate_Ziegler. And
Why don't you spell that quick?
Nate, Nate, and _ZIEGLER. And we have CoMotionFit.com. I'm sure if you Google us, you'll find it. CoMotion Fitness.
Alright.
Covers the basics.
You can find me at Jakubitz, at JAKUBICZ on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Andrew Jakubitz. Connect with me, I say it every time. Let's chat, let's meet new people. Eric, alright. Come on, we're gonna get this right this time. You're gonna know your own social media handle. It's gonna struggle for me to say it right. Here we go.
Eric, ERIC_HESS. That's Hess. And then there's a 22.
Boom.
Nailed it.
Chris Middleton's number. Gotta love it. And then you can find the Casual Millennials Podcast on every social platform: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us, enjoy our content, and interact with us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on each episode or the piece of content that we put out. This is supposed to be a conversational and a thought-provoking podcast, so we hope it was. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you for the next episode. Cheers.
Boom. Now we need to take a picture before I forget it.
Yeah.
So we just take a